Hello, ladies and gents and ladies, and all those wonderful creatures out there. I am Mitchell Rulain, the host of the Wrestling Diaries. This is the podcast show for the average Joe. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Also, if you want to see the video cast, the vodcast, go to YouTube, like, share, comment, and subscribe. See all these people from different walks and different takes on life and the things they wrestle with and how they can overcome their own personal demons. Today, we're doing another of our spoken word sessions where it is just little old me talking about whatever, reading off stories or poems that I have been sent or stuff that I have came up with. Today, I'm going to read a piece that I wrote and kind of cover, when I write poems or short stories or just random like that, I really do it a lot of the times just like on a whim. Like, you know, usually people use inspiration to write things like, oh, I'm really depressed, my boss pissed me off, my dog ran away, or you're like a country music star, your wife left you and you ran out of beer or whatever that goes, the spurs in your boot cut your son or something. But when I write a lot of things, it's weird. It's just like things that I think about, and there's usually no motives or general reasons why I write these things. I guess if I was a painter, I would be very, very abstract. I would paint very abstract things, which actually when I have painted very abstract pieces. So when I write, I kind of write abstractly, I guess. And this piece that I'm about to read to you now is kind of like that in a way, although at the time that I wrote it, it wasn't all just like these weird things in my head that I put together, but I thought about like the concept of addiction, and I don't mean just like with drugs and stuff like that, but like, you know, the addiction of addiction, like being addicted to being addictive. Does that make sense? Like, you know, you might not just be addicted to drugs, you might be addicted to watching Netflix, or addicted to being lazy, or addicted to drinking too many milkshakes, or like whatever it is, whatever you do in excess that is something that probably isn't the best thing for you, the most positive thing. And yeah, I think that was kind of more or less the core meaning behind this. But I'm going to tell you right now, this poem is very subjective. So you listen to it and you can come up with whatever you feel about it, right? I feel like all poetry is like that, right? Or just general things like that. Unless you're reading a book that's very straightforward. If you're reading any literature that is abstract, which is a lot of times poetry, a lot of it's not straightforward, then it's up to the person listening to interpret, right? To see what the artist, the writer was going through, more or less. So this poem I'll read you is called Spellbound. There's a cornucopia of opium, and hopefully it numbs me. Because smoking dragons don't comfort, they're black seed and take a back seat to the matchstick that ignites me. A bit frightening, I believe, but down this dark corridor we trickle nightly. How can my hand betray me? They say that Satan comes for the ones who sit by idly. Guess that's true, and we are but fools to trust the dopamine that rules us. Gives us rolls, and we scour and cower at the tower that baffles us. Makes us babble and rattle like snakes, undeniable cattle. I am an addict, attracted to the cobwebs in the attic. It's too static and erratic. It's better to be ballistic and altruistic about existence. But weakness is strongest when you're trapped in the matrix for the longest of times, and no amount of rhymes will help you see better. You must choose not to lose and befriend the wind like in the book of alchemy. And everything you see is not you, it's me, and vice versa. Please show mercy to your warm core and not explore a world of poisoning blood for the pressure of a quick pleasure. Because trust me, there's much better treasure. Out there is where you'll find it. Beyond gray clouds, there's a trumpet sounds and rainbow crowds of rewards, no doubt. Fight out of the herds and take this healing herb and see and be and create freely. The dark is monstrous right before the dawn. And if you hold out, stand strong and stout, then your bed monsters will be gone. What matters is all matter, and that we're all fully connected. And if you thought this tale was just about drugs, then you're not that good of a detective. There's oceans drying, UFOs flying, and people dying. All around us is stormy weather, and apart we're as weak as a feather. But tethered together, we're better and strong like steel. I need each other, brothers and sisters and lovers. It's community, you see. I and we can be whatever it is we want. No need for numbing, easy dope. That's a quick pleasure hangman's rope. There's hope, and that may be cheese, but it tastes good if you look introspectively. Take this one affirmation and let it sink in. If you know how to lose, eventually you'll know how to win. Dry your eyes in the warmth of the grandiose sunshine. Go blind and then see. Love your youth, love your feet. Walk and be. I and we and I. Dive and begin to fly. Heaven's waiting for those who try. I cast this spell of love like drugs for you to take and shake the world with an astounding noise. High you are and free like a dove in search of an olive tree. Leave the boat, sure of shore, and on this dry land is where you'll finally see. There's a cornucopia of whatever it is you were meant to be. So be. Bada bang. Bada boom. Spellbound. I hope you like that. What are you addicted to? Are you addicted to anything? And is the things you're addicted to, are they consuming you in a bad, negative way? I mean, I guess somebody could ask, well, can you be addicted to good things? I think too much of anything is bad, right? Like water is the most essential substance on the face of the planet. The planet is made up of the majority of water, and so are our bodies. We need it to hydrate. We need tons of it. But also, if you drink too much, you drown. Yeah, I guess anything in excessively is not good enough, right? But I think in part I wrote that poem too because I was like, a lot of the thing, like addiction has a negative connotation usually. When you're addicted to things, it's usually bad stuff. It's drugs or overeating or shit or whatever it is. So is there anything that you can deviate from and become addicted to something that's more progressive and much more, I don't know, something that takes you further in life? You can be addicted to that stuff, right? Like being addicted to being lazy is terrible. Being addicted to being a clean freak is bad too, because it could probably be pretty annoying for your friends. But which one's better, right? Would you rather be addicted to being lazy or addicted to being a clean freak? I guess that's stuff that people really have to ask themselves. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and maybe you were spellbound by my work. Maybe you weren't. I sure hope you were, though. And this concludes today's episode of the Spoken Word Sessions with your host, Mitchell Roulaine. This is the podcast show for the average Joe, where we try to find out what regular people in society, in the world, what do they wrestle with? How can they overcome these adversities? Check us out, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public. Check us out on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more content we release weekly, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. What do you wrestle with? And how can you beat it? One love.